Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I am sharing with you my comparison, I guess it would be, of the brand new Race Sim Studio Formula Hybrid 2022 versus the not as new but still new VRC Formula Alpha 2022. These cars are, of course, both 2022 Formula 1 cars based off of this season's regulations, and I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, if you had to buy one of them, which one would I recommend? It's actually a very hard decision. I had to drive all of these cars a ton, really get the minor details out of them, and I have come to a conclusion, but I will immediately preface by saying whichever one you picked, you are not getting a bad experience whatsoever. As always, a massive shout out to my channel members. If you want to become a channel member, it is just $1 a month. Get your name in the videos as well as a bunch of other perks. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now we're going to be breaking this video up into 4 parts. We're going to have the overall model quality and model design. We're going to have the physics, of course, most important part. We're going to have current and long-term support for the car mods. And then finally, the sounds of the cars, as well as some sound mods. And overall, by the end of this video, I'll give you my opinion on which one I recommend, and you will have all of the information to find out for yourself which one you think is a bit better. But let's start out with that overall model quality, and starting the tone for the rest of this video, both of the models for the cars are absolutely fantastic, but I do think the VRC car edges out the Race Sim Studio car in terms of the combinations that you can have. When you change the rear wing angle, you can actually see that happening. They have different rear wing assemblies as well, so you can have the really skinny, narrow wings for tracks like Monza, and the really big rear wings for tracks like Catalunya. They also have a bunch of different front wing options that really just bring this car together, and if you're racing with someone who has a different custom setup to yours, you can end up with 2 very different looking cars, which is actually really cool. RSS do have the both car models with the S-Spec and then the regular version kind of looking like the Mercedes and the Ferrari, and that will be really nice for running 2 completely separate grid models offline with AI, because of course the AI don't really change their setup unless you force them to, and I don't even know how to do that. So overall, in terms of detail, I think the VRC one edges it out, not just because it has the regular car model, but because it has so many different models that you can completely customize and interchange. It's just a lot of fun to look at and mess around within the setup. But now let's talk about physics. I will immediately preface by saying I have heard some rumblings that the VRC car is up to 2 seconds faster compared to real life on some tracks, and while I haven't been able to validate these claims for myself, and VRC say that on especially Kuno's tracks, the Formula Alpha is perfectly dialed in. Whether or not the Formula Alpha is fast, I will be giving the overall physics award, if you will, to the Race Sim Studio car for my personal taste. I want to immediately disclose that. The truth is, I could see both of these cars driving really realistically. I haven't driven a 2022 Formula 1 car, so obviously I don't really know how one feels. But the RSS car, to me, I feel like just handles a bit more realistically from the way I perceive Formula 1 through the broadcasts. The Formula Alpha is very tail happy, and if you get on the power at just the wrong time, you will be completely sent into the shadow realm, while the RSS car can take a lot more of a beating in terms of kind of just pushing, slamming actually on the throttle. It'll most of the time stick. If I had to sum it up, again, in my personal opinion with my CSL DD, the Formula Alpha is very lively compared to the RSS car. The RSS one is a lot more on rails, while the VRC car is definitely a bit more of an involved driving experience. Again, I think I could see both of these being very realistic, so it's just going to be down to personal preference, whether you want a more lively experience where you're having to get on the throttle at just the right time and perfectly nailing it, getting that satisfaction, or if you just want a car that for the most part is on rails and you can truly just experience the raw speed of Formula One. Pick whatever car you like to drive more, and in my case, that is the Race Sim Studio car. Now we move on to long-term support. So what I mean by this is mods by the community later down the line, as well as updates from the developers themselves, VRC and Race Sim Studio. Both cars are perfect right now. If none of them ever got updates ever again, I don't think there would be any issues whatsoever with that. But I do have to acknowledge that Race Sim Studio, just because they physically don't put out as much content, definitely support their mods more in the long term. Even as of December of last year, they were still updating the Formula Hybrid 2021, so definitely expect this car to maybe even get updates into 2023. I also think that when the 2023 skins come out on Race Department before the Formula Hybrid 2023 comes out, I think they're going to be all on the 2022 car. Maybe there'll be a couple on the VRC car, but sadly, and it is definitely sadly, a lot of VRC cars tend to slowly get forgotten about as time goes on, which again is a crying shame because they are absolutely fantastic. So you can already tell what I'm going to pick, but for long-term support, I'm going to go with the Formula Hybrid 2022. Again, I think it's going to be updated by RSS well into the end of this year, if and when it needs it. And I think when the new 2023 liveries get revealed, we'll be seeing them on the Formula Hybrid first, simply because it's just a lot easier to skin for because there aren't so many front and rear wing models. The Formula Alpha already has a full grid of 2022 cars. I have zero doubt in my mind, probably by the end of next week, we'll have a full grid for the Formula Hybrid 2022. But if you really want to get your money's worth out of both of these cars, especially into next year and next Formula One season, I think your money is a bit safer on the RSS side. So we're 2-1 right now with RSS on top. We're moving into the final category, if you will, which is sound and sound mods. So the Formula Hybrid with both the Ferrari and Mercedes engines sounds absolutely orgasmic. I have loved just listening to these cars flying by, going into the braking zones. The RSS team absolutely hit it out of the park. But so did VRC. And so did SHR modding. The bass sound for the Formula Alpha, which I think is based off of the Renault power unit, is absolutely amazing, and there is nothing wrong with it. But of course, SHR modding, the titans that they are, have made some amazing sounds for the Formula Alpha, and whether you want to put on the Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull powertrain / Honda, whatever engine sound you want to throw onto the Formula Alpha, you can, and they all sound fantastic. I'm sure SHR modding will come out with some sounds for the Formula Hybrid as well, but in my opinion, I don't think I'm going to personally download them. I think the sounds are fantastic on the Formula Hybrid as they are, and I don't really want to change them, to be honest. Both the vanilla VRC sounds and the SHR sounds for the Formula Alpha are fantastic, and RSS hit it out of the park as well with the Formula Hybrid. So, if you're keeping score, we'll get right into what car, if I only had to buy one, I would buy, and that is the Race Sim Studio Formula Hybrid 2022. Overall, I think it just edges out the VRC car in some minor ways, but the VRC car also has a ton of things on the Formula Hybrid, such as all of that wing customizability and just the attention to detail and all the combinations you could make. It is just a ton of fun to mess with. Whatever car you buy, or if you buy both, you're not missing out on anything. They are both absolutely fantastic. Both teams have hit it out of the park, and it is crazy that we have such high quality mods nowadays in Assetto Corsa. You wouldn't think this game came out in 2013. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Tell me which one you pick in the comments below and why. Tell me if you have both. Tell me if you have one and tell me why you have it, or if you took my opinion and bought the Formula Hybrid 2022 because you didn't have any. Tell me how you like it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support. In June, we are on the road to 10K, I guess it would be, so get subscribed. We have a ton of cool content coming soon. I have a lot of fun videos planned for this month, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.